I have never before had the urge to drink, but I cannot do without it tonight. I do not know what to do, or if I would do it if I did. I wish midnight would get here, but I also wish it would never come. My mind wanders back to the night that brought me to this. It was February 14th, and I had a party to attend. A group of us from work had decided that since it was Valentine's, we would get together and make an evening of it. My wife Helen had my car that day due to hers being in the shop. I rode to the party from work with its host, my boss, Mr. Donaldson. I normally would have picked her up, but we had decided it would be easier for her to come to the party from home than for me to drive home, pick her up, and then go to the party. By the time Mr. Donaldson and I had arrived, most of the office personnel had already showed, and the party was well underway.
Hey, Adam, come on in. Alright, this is Donaldson.
When I married Helen about 11 months earlier, I knew she was an unusual woman. So, as the months went by, it ceased to amaze me that she arose promptly at 6 every morning, always kept everything perfectly organized, and most of all, she never lied, not even about her age. To most people, she probably would have been a hassle to live with. But I found that I enjoyed the little world of perfection and order that she had created. It had not even been a year, and I was already so used to her that it seemed like we had always been together. 6:30. Must be the traffic. I can't seem to get a signal on my phone. Would you happen to have one that's working?
One of the things I like about living out here. I still have a landline, though. It's just down that way to the kitchen.
Adam, I am so sorry for being late.
Hey, it's fine. Let's go sit on the couch so you can catch your breath.
No, I'm fine. Do you hear that? I would much rather dance than be sitting. I am so sorry.
She was obviously trying to make up for being late, and I knew better than to talk her out of the dancing in her apologies. Throughout the evening, she repeatedly asked for forgiveness at being late, and would have continued had I not given in to her promise that she would make it up to me later that night.
Do you want me to drive? I'm sure the dancing made you tired.
I gave in to her, figuring it was still her way of trying to gain forgiveness, and we started the drive home. Our house was on the other side of the city and partway up in the mountains. As soon as we left the city limits, I dozed off. I woke up once we reached the house, and noticed that Helen looked tense. Are you feeling okay?
Oh, yes. I just always get nervous driving on the mountain.
I dropped it and got out of the car. She took my hand and let me into the house. She relaxes more as she gets in more familiar surroundings. Everything in its special place. She goes to get us hot chocolate while I start a fire in the fireplace. That night was what dreams are made of. She made good on her promise to make it up to me. I woke up late the next afternoon to a knock on the door. Helen wasn't there. There was another knock at the door, so I got up and put on my robe. As I made my way to the door, I thought back to the previous night with Helen. I opened the door to two uniformed police officers. I could see that the driveway was empty behind them.
I'm Officer Smith, and this is my partner, Officer Dunn. I'm afraid I have some bad news for you.
Helen had been in a wreck. I couldn't comprehend what he had said. My mind reeled, trying to think about anything she could have left to do that morning. As I thought, I listened to the officer as he continued on to tell me that Helen had died in the wreck. I don't really know what happened next. I know that I was disoriented. The officer said to help me into the house, into the living room, where embers from the night before were still burning. They briefly explained that the car had gone off an embankment and had not been found until the next morning. I found that odd. But she was here with me last night. She must have left early this morning.
I'm afraid not. All evidence suggests that it happened yesterday before nightfall. The headlights weren't on, and she was still wearing sunglasses.
My life has not been the same since then. The conflicting truths constantly entangle me. I know that I spent that night with her. I remember how warm and alive she felt. But I also know that she wrecked well before any of that ever happened. My work struggled. Mr. Donaldson gave me a leave of absence. It wasn't until after the funeral that I remembered her promises. She had promised she would be at the party. She was. She was late, but she was there. She had apologized for leaving me alone. I thought about the time we spent after the party, the passion that swelled in us, and the talk of our upcoming anniversary. She did not talk about what we would do for the occasion. At the time, I thought it was because she wanted me to think of something. She did promise that we would be together from this anniversary until eternity. And as I've said before, when Helen made a promise, I believed it. The clock is reaching midnight. In just a few seconds it will be my anniversary with Helen. I look at the bottle in my hand and think about how she wouldn't approve of me drinking. Except for the bottles, the house is the same as when she died. I didn't change anything, because I knew she liked it the way it was. I'm wearing the sweater she got me for Christmas, and the aftershave she liked. A dozen roses along with a necklace and earrings I knew she wanted are sitting on the table next to me. I'm not dreading the new day anymore. I'm ready to spend eternity with Helen. I smell her perfume.